Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are stepping into one of the most intense, high-stakes moments in, well, all of history. We're in the upper room.
We are. We're looking at John chapter 13, specifically verses 31 through 38.
And the contest is just, it's everything. We're coming off this huge cliffhanger.
A massive one. Judas, the betrayer, has just gone out. He's left the building. And Jesus is now alone with his 11 remaining followers, his true sheep.
And this sets up a fundamental problem that our sources really key in on. What happens when a powerful, a galvanizing leader leaves?
The group scatters. It's what always happens. A CEO steps down, a political figure disappears.
And the vision just fractures. People scatter. It's the story of humanity, really, since the Tower of Babel.
Exactly. And so Jesus is preparing them for his physical absence. He's on what the material calls the road to resurrection.
So the glue that held them together, just being physically near him, it's about to dissolve. So what does he do? What principle does he give them to make sure this whole movement doesn't just, fall apart?
And that's our mission for this deep dive. The core idea is that Jesus replaces that physical proximity with a radical new principle.
The new commandment.
A new commandment to love one another. But to really feel how radical it is, we have to look at why he gives it to them at this exact moment.
Okay, so let's start there. Verse 31, he says, "Now is the Son of Man glorified." It's a strange thing to say right after your friend leaves to betray you for cash.
That word "now" is so significant. The sources are clear on this. Judas walking out the door is the pivot point. It's the point of no return.
Look, you're at the top of the slide and you've just pushed off.
Precisely. It signals that God's plan, the whole sequence leading to the cross, is now unstoppable. It's guaranteed.
But glory. Why frame the road to the cross, which is all about suffering, as glory? That seems like a contradiction.
Well, that's the genius of it. The cross isn't just about suffering. It's the ultimate display of God's entire character all at once.
You mean his justice and his grace side by side?
Yes, and his wrath against sin right next to his incredible love for humanity. That perfect simultaneous display of his whole character. That is what brings glory to the Son.
And he immediately connects it to the Father, saying, "And God is glorified in him." So this isn't just Jesus acting alone.
Absolutely not. It really emphasizes the perfect union. Their glory is shared. Their relationship is one of eternal love and mutual delight. The cross is the Son acting in perfect concert with the Father.
It sounds like a very internal divine loop. God loving God, God glorifying God. How does that connect to us?
That's the key. Because that love is so perfect and so complete, the only place for it to go is outward. It has to overflow. This divine perfection is the source for the command he's about to give.
So we're seeing the source of the love before we're commanded to practice it.
Exactly. It's not a human ideal. It's God's own self-sustaining, overflowing love.
And in verse 2, Jesus gives them this assurance. He says God will glorify him at once. The analysis we read said this isn't about speed, is it?
No, it's not about a stopwatch. It's about certainty. It's a figure of speech. He's telling his disciples, who are about to see him suffer, that his glorification is absolutely guaranteed.
So it's a message of encouragement. Don't see this as a tragedy. See it as a guaranteed victory.
Yeah. Yes. So if we pull this first section together, the foundational point is this. The love Jesus is about to command is first modeled inside God himself.
In the Trinity.
Precisely. If we try to practice this kind of love from our own willpower, we're going to fail. We have to see the source first.
That makes a lot of sense. The power has to come from the source. Okay, so in verse 33, he shifts gears. He says, "Little children, where I am going, you cannot come."
He's drawing a very clear line here. He's going to the cross to drink the cup of God's wrath, to be the Passover lamb.
The substitute.
The substitute. And that is a mission he has to do alone. They can't follow him there, not in that way.
So this is the moment where proximity gives way to identity. If you can't be with me, you have to be like me.
And that's where he drops the new commandment in verse 34. The old law was love God and love your neighbor as yourself. So, what's so new about this?
Right. It feels like love was already a pretty central theme. How is this the new glue for the community?
Our sources pull out three really crucial distinctions. First, the recipients. This is for the 11, for the true followers. It's special instruction for this new community.
Okay, so it's internal.
Right. Second, the direction. It's not just love your neighbor, everyone out there. It's love one another.
Within the group.
Within the group. And third, and this is the big one, the paradigm shift is the standard. It is no longer as yourself.
Thank goodness, right. Because my love for myself can be pretty flawed and self-serving on a given day. That's not a great standard.
Exactly. The human benchmark is inconsistent. It's biased. So Jesus just throws it out and replaces it with himself. Just as I have loved you.
Wow. So that raises the bar to an impossible height. We're talking about self-sacrifice, humility, service, the kind of love he'd just shown them by washing their feet.
Yes, it's a complete reversal of self-interest. Think about the guy who just left the room, Judas. His love was for himself, for money. Christ's love is the exact opposite.
So this brings us to that second big point. This love becomes the visible identity marker of a believer. It works both internally and externally.
Internally, it brings a kind of clarity. With the old system, you could follow the external rules, diet, festivals, whatever, and your heart could be completely self-serving.
You could fake it.
You could fake it, but this kind of self-sacrificial love, that is much, much harder to fake. It gives the group real assurance about who is genuinely in.
And externally.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate advertisement. Verse 35. By this, all people will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another.
It's the proof. And we actually have historical evidence for this. The sources bring up Tertullian, a writer from the 2nd century.
Oh, this is a fantastic story.
It is. He was defending Christians to the Romans who were persecuting them, and he actually quoted a pagan ruler who was observing the Christians and said, simply, see how they love one another.
Wow. So in a world that hated them, the most undeniable thing about them wasn't their theology or their secret meetings. It was how they treated each other.
The depth of their community love was the proof that something supernatural was happening. It was impossible to explain away.
But speaking of the gap between the ideal and the reality, we get to Peter's response. And he just seems to completely miss the point.
Oh, it's classic Peter, isn't it? Verse 36. He hears all this deep theology about a new commandment, and his first question is pure logistics. Lord, where are you going?
He skips right over the hard issue and goes to the itinerary. It's like he's thinking, yep, got the love thing covered, now just tell me where to pack for.
The analysis we read says Peter is fundamentally out of order. He thinks the problem is external, how to physically follow Jesus, but he is totally blind to his own internal inability.
Which leads right into his catastrophic boast in verse 37, I will lay down my life for you.
He genuinely believes he can do it. He thinks he has the power to meet this new Christ-level standard on his own.
And Jesus' reply is devastatingly gentle. Will you lay down your life for me? Truly, truly, I say to you, the rooster will not crow till you have denied me 3 times.
That is the complete exposure of his weakness. That number 3, it suggests completeness. His 3 denials show he is as far away as possible from being able to obey this command on his own steam.
He can't drink the cup. He can't follow Jesus on this unique mission. His failure is It's the failure of all human willpower, really.
It is. And that's why Jesus says, you cannot follow me now, but you will follow afterward. Peter has to wait.
What's he waiting for? What has to happen in that afterward?
Jesus has to finish his work. He has to secure the atonement, fulfill the law, and then this is everything. Then send the necessary power.
Which brings us to point 3. This love, this new commandment, is only possible
Through the power of that one same Holy Spirit.
The Spirit is the power source.
It is. After Pentecost, the Spirit indwells every single follower, and that Spirit gives them the divine ability to actually live up to Christ's standard. The Spirit is what unites them and empowers that love.
And there's that beautiful reversal for Peter. The sources connect this to the post-resurrection scene where Jesus asks him, do you love me? 3 times.
Reversing the 3 denials, it's his restoration. And every time Peter says yes, what does Jesus immediately say?
Feed my lambs, tend my sheep.
Exactly. Loving Christ is proven by obeying the commandment, loving and serving one another. That's the visible proof of the Spirit's work.
So this whole deep dive really shows that the glue of this new community it's profound. It's rooted in God's own perfect love.
It becomes the visible, unmistakable identity marker for the world to see.
And crucially, it's only possible by the power of the Holy Spirit, which, that's the age we live in now.
We live on the other side of the cross, the other side of Pentecost. The Spirit's been poured out. So the question for you, the listener, becomes really practical, doesn't it?
Right. If this kind of love is the number 1 characteristic, how is your life marked by it this week?
Are you sacrificing anything? Time, money, your reputation for someone else in the community? Are you humbling yourself? Are you extending grace when it's not deserved?
Because those are the actions that prove you're operating by the new standard, not the old self-centered one.
And maybe we can end with this thought, building on that Tertullian anecdote. If the world is judging the message by how believers treat each other.
And the standard for that treatment is just as Christ has loved you. which means sacrificial, costly love.
Then here's the question for you to take away. What specific, costly action could you demonstrate this week that would be utterly impossible to fake?
Something that requires so much humility or patience or forgiveness that it goes way beyond loving as yourself. An action that so clearly requires the power of the indwelling spirit to pull off.
That's the challenge. And that's the witness of the new commandment.
A profound thought to end on. That was fantastic. We'll be back soon for our next deep dive. Until then, keep reading.